Everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel AI Stories by Anjali. In today's video, we are going to discuss about the topic classification with OpenAI API, and we are using GPT-3 model for fine-tuning the model to classify the text. So we are giving a set of words and we want to classify those words either edible or inedible. So this is our problem statement. For doing this, you have to follow a series of steps. So this is a set of steps that involves the entire fine-tuning process of an OpenAI model, that is DAVINCI. In order to do this, you have to follow some steps. Those steps include how you have to get the OpenAI API and how you have to create the client and how you have to do the fine-tuning process. Once you're done with that, how you can check whether your model is fine-tuned or not, and then test your sample text of words to see the results. So this is the steps that you have to do. So however, in this video, we will be explaining till fine-tuning the process, and in the next week, we will see how you can get the results by giving some data. So this is the whole concept of this particular problem statement. So let us dive deep into the video and see how you can achieve this. Before going to that, I would like to thank to all my subscribers who have subscribed to my YouTube channel, and also requesting to the new watchers to please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel AI Stories by Anjali. So first thing is, before going to start any project, you have to install and import the necessary libraries. So for this particular project, we have to install the particular package called OpenAI. So this is the command for that. That is not pip install -- force -- reinstall space OpenAI that equal to 1.8. So this is the particular package. So we are installing the 1.8 version. Once you once you run this command, all the installed packages, like all the required packages, will get installed into your system. So this will take a couple of moments. So just wait once it gets run. Okay. Next. The next thing is you have to import the libraries. So for that, you're doing this particular code. Okay. Import JSON. So JSON is the particular file format that you are using for feeding the data into the model, LLM model. Next, from OpenAI, you are using OpenAI library, and from datetime you're importing the datetime function and you're importing the pandas. So you know, pandas is a very famous library for dealing with data frames, and datetime is a function which allows you to deal with datetime objects and functions in your code. And OpenAI, of course, you're dealing with OpenAI models, so you need OpenAI method for handling some functions and methods in your code. Next, the next step is you have to set the OpenAI API key as well as the client. So make sure here you are giving the input, that means customizing with your data and fine-tuning the existing LLM model, that is text DAVINCI, which is a model of OpenAI. In order to interact to that particular model, we are using API. So API is nothing but application programming interfaces. So these APIs are mainly used to interact with software applications. So this is the concept of any APIs. Okay. So we are using the API, and of course, to interact with the model, you have to create the client with the help of API, and client you can interact with the model. So that's why we are using this particular code. API key is equal to whatever the API key of yours, just grab it, and of course I have showed you in our previous videos. Those who haven't watched it, please go and check it out and grab the key from there and just paste. Okay. And then client is equal to OpenAI of API underscore key is equal to API underscore key. So in this way you can create the client. Next, the next step is you have to create your own training data. So there are various ways in real world you can get the data. You can get in the form of various databases from data sources in the cloud or in simple surveys, Excel sheets, or simply you can create some dummy data for the project purposes, or you can download the data set from a Kaggle or use a machine learning repository or anywhere based on the problem statement and based on the domain that you're working about the customized applications that you're working, you can have your own set of data. Of course, since this is an example, we are creating the training data. So we are creating the data in the form of JSON. So JSON is a dictionary format. So key and value pairs will be there. So these are the particular set of things that we have prepared. So prompt column burger, completion is edible, and prompt is paper towel. So and so. Okay. Next, once you're done with creating the data, the next step is you have to save the data into the JSON-L format. So what is the JSON-L format? So JSON-L format is simply the JSON file with file name saved as .jsonl. Okay, so the data will be in the JSON format, but the file will be the extension .jsonl, because an OpenAI will accept only the JSON-L format. So that's why we are using this particular format for giving your data to the model. Okay, so this is the syntax that you have to use. So first you are defining your file name. So whatever the data that you created here, so this will be saved into this file. Okay, so training underscore data underscore classification .jsonl, this is your file name, and see I have saved with extension .jsonl, and data underscore list is equal to data, that is nothing but this one which you define the variable, and with open file name as w, so as output file. So basically open is a method. So with help of with keyword you're opening the file, and in write format you're opening. So there are mainly 3 different modes that you can operate with files in Python, that is read, write, and append. So you're writing your particular data into that file. So for entry in data list, you're dumping, that is json.dump of entry come output file and output file.write of /n. So this is the syntax which will help you to dump all your data, that is which is in JSON, to the file called training data classification.jsonl format. So once you're done with that, you have to upload this particular file which you created just now to the OpenAI account. Okay, so for that you are using this particular syntax. So upload underscore response is equal to client.files.create. So as I told you, whenever you're interacting with the LLM model, you're using the client connection which you created earlier. So if you remember, for interacting with databases using any code, you use a JDBC driver connections, right? Suppose if you want to interact with the SQL, you will use a SQL connector, right? Similarly, for interacting with LLMs, you're using client method. Okay, so that's why like for your understanding, I'm just giving comparison. Okay, so client.files.create is a function. So for in this particular function, you'll have the 2 parameters. One is file and one is purpose. So file is nothing but the file which you have created. Okay, and the purpose is fine-tune. So you're fine tuning. So for that only you're using this data. So that's why you're giving that particular thing. Okay, and you're just printing your upload underscore response to see what exactly is there in that. So this is having your ID and the size of your data, that means the file, and which it's also having created at, that is a particular time, in the file name, as well as the object, as well as the purpose, and also the status, as well as the status details. So once you're done with that, you're just saving the file ID. Why the file ID? Because whenever you have uploaded your particular file into the OpenAI account, in order to uniquely identify your file, you have to need the ID. Suppose in a class, for identifying a particular student, you have your student ID or roll numbers, etc. Right? Similarly, for your file, there should be file ID, which is very unique. So you are using that particular thing to identify your file. So that's why you are using this. Okay, file underscore ID is equal to upload underscore response dot ID, that is file ID. So your ID is having here, right? So this will be get printed. Okay, the next thing is you have to fine tune. So what exactly the fine tune is? So as I told in our theoretical videos, so for example, in order to use any LLM, there will be several kind of techniques. There are one-shot learning, fine-tuning, etc., etc. So fine-tuning means to the existing model, you will enhance and you will give your data and do some customization. So this is how the process works. So here we are using the text DAVINCI model. So for that, what you're doing, you're just creating a variable which is called fine-tune_response, and with the help of client, you have a function called fine-tuning.jobs.create, and in that particular method, you have your two parameters. One is the model which you want to fine-tune, and the other is the file ID, which you have already uploaded to the OpenAI account. So you're done with that, and you are just converting your particular thing into the dictionary, and once you're printing that, you're getting entire thing in the form of dictionary. Okay. So once you're done with that, you have to check the status of your job, because you're just fine-tuning it, but you have to see whether it gets fine-tuned or not. So for that, you're using this particular syntax. So first is you're having your job ID, which is nothing but your response ID, and then you're printing that. You have a function called retrieve and dot status method, which will help you to get your status, and then you're creating a simple variable called events, and then you're just listing everything with the help of your ID, like what are the set of events that are there, and then you're just extracting the created at parameter as well as the timestamp, and then you're just printing the most recent activity and also when it has been occurred. So if you see the output, it is still running, and the recent activity has started and it is occurred at this particular time. So that means the fine-tuning process is running. Okay, so in this way you can see the status of your particular fine-tuning process. Okay, so till here is the steps, the part 1 steps that you have to remember whenever you're fine-tuning a particular model. So the remaining steps, that is whether it gets fine-tuned or not, and once it's get fine-tuned, you have to test your results. So this we'll discuss in the next video. Okay, I hope you got these things. Okay, so basically what we do in today's video is you just have a particular data of your own customized thing, and you just uploaded that in the particular data in like you have written that data into the JSON-L file, and then you have uploaded that into OpenAI, and just you fine-tuned a process, like you just initiated the process of fine-tuning and it is running. Okay, so these are the steps that you have done today. Okay, so in our next video we will discuss this particular thing, that is the part 2 will be discussed, and we will see the results. Okay, I hope you understand this video. Please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel AI Stories by Anjali. Thank you so much.